Welcome back. Yesterday, you took the first step to become a part of the Enya family. Now that you're a part of our growing family, you will receive weekly fresh content in your inbox to watch, listen, and read. By subscribing to our emails, we know that you're interested in helping Project Enya grow. If you want inspiration and a place to belong, you've come to the right place. I promised yesterday that I would send you one of our 3 most popular videos. But before I do that, I wanted to share with you guys a few photos that I think will really show how wonderful our Project Enya team is. We love what we do, and we can't say enough about how much we love to bring the message of Project Enya to you each and every week. Okay, now that we're not strangers anymore, check out the first video that I promised to send to you. You are gonna love it. Our project is all about identity because who we are and how we see ourselves matters so much. It affects how we see the world and how the world sees us. I Am Joaquin is as relevant today as it was when Corky Gonzalez wrote it almost 50 years ago. It begins, Yo soy Joaquin.
Yo soy Joaquin.
Yo soy Joaquin.
Yo soy Joaquin.
I am Joaquin. Lost in a world of confusion.
Caught up in the world of a gringo society.
Confused by the rules.
Scorned by attitudes. Suppressed by manipulation. And destroyed by modern society.
My fathers have lost the economic battle and won the struggle of cultural survival.
My name is Rudy Gonzalez. I'm Executive Director of Servicios de la Raza. My father is Rodolfo Corky Gonzalez.
One message my father always said, and when he spoke at the Capitol, was learn, educate, read. And I think to have this here in our community for our children is a big step forward.
What he believed in his teachings and how important it is to our youth to have that self-identity and that self-awareness of who they are and where they came from. We bled and fought in the streets so we can speak Spanish today.
I am Joaquin. I rode with Pancho Villa, crude and warm.
A tornado at full strength.
Nourished and inspired by the passion and the fire of all his earthly people.
Dad used to talk about the Mexican Revolution, about Mexico with so much pride and so much honor that he said. He goes, it was about honor and it was about your word. He goes, we were so poor that that's all we had.
Yes, I have come a long way to nowhere.
Unwillingly dragged by that monstrous, technical, industrial giant called progress and Anglo success.
I look at myself. I watch my brothers.
I shed tears of sorrow. I sow seeds of hate. I withdraw to the safety within the circle of life, my own people.
Chicano Mexicano people in this country are still 80% of the Latino population. We're a mestizo nation from Alaska all the way to the Tierra del Fuego. We have a lot of the same traits and culture, and so he evolved into that. He was the renaissance of culture among the Chicano Mexicano in this country. And then I Am Joaquin, that was like the word of God coming down.
I am still here.
I have endured in the rugged mountains of our country. I have survived the toils and slavery of the fields.
I have existed in the barrios of the city, in the suburbs of bigotry, in the mines of social snobbery, in the prisons of dejection, in the muck of exploitation, and in the fierce heat of racial hatred. And now the trumpet sounds.
This was our manifesto. This was, I mean, when it was printed, I mean, they pasted it on telephone poles and barrios all over. I mean, it was the rock that moved, and the avalanche of literature followed. It really did open the gates and the floodgates for Chicano and Latino literature.
I shed the tears of anguish as I see my children disappear behind the shroud of mediocrity, never to look back to remember me.
I'm Joaquin. I must fight to win this struggle for my sons, and they must know for me who I am.
We've come so far from marching in the civil rights movement since I was a little girl to now to know that we have a library that represents our people in our communities. I know that he would say, this isn't the end, this is the beginning.
La raza,
Mexicano.
Español,
Latino,
Chicano.
or whatever I call myself.
I look the same.
I feel the same.
I cry and sing the same.
I am the masses of my people. I refuse to be absorbed. I am Joaquin.
The odds are great, but my spirit is
strong.
My faith is unbreakable.
My blood is
pure.
I am
Aztec
Aztec Prince and
Christian
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 Christ.
Christ.
I shall endure.
I will
endure.
endure.
Increíble. Weren't these kids amazing? We actually have a few of those kids working in our office today because I just didn't want to say goodbye after that shoot. Before we go, since I'm so excited to share with you these amazing stories that we've put together, I'm gonna just go ahead and share the second best of feature instead of making you wait until tomorrow. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to one of my most favorite people, Lupe Montes Hurt. I'll never forget that interview. I was crying right along with her because I totally know what that feels like.
My mom calls me Lupita, but when she's upset, they bust out the full name, so then it becomes Guadalupe. And, in Spanish, they always put the ITA for cariño, so everything, I've always been Lupita. Guadalupe when she's upset. In retrospect, I think I've had millions of Enya moments, and I didn't really even know it. Because as a Spanish-speaking American, I have found that I unconsciously shift my language, my demeanor, my pronunciation, depending on who I'm around. I will speak to my Anglo friends in a very Anglo-Spanish kind of way. So I will go with the tortillas and the salsas and the Californias or the Texas. But if I'm talking to a group of Latinas or people that I know speak Spanish, I light up. It seems like all of a sudden my Spanish comes back in and I'm talking tortillas and salsa and tejas, and I pronounce things differently because I feel at ease and I feel like they're not going to look at me differently. In Broomfield, and even when I started to go to college, out in California, you definitely got those looks like, can you say that one more time? How do you pronounce that? And I got everything from Guadalupe to Guadalupe. They would think that it ends with an A instead of with an E. And so I figured, save myself the issues and I'll just go ahead and condense it down to Lupe. Nonetheless, it's still been challenging with the name Lupe. You still get the Lupe and the Lupes and the Lupes, and I'm like, no, it's Lupe. Having to accept the fact to be called Lupe instead of Lupe, or having to shorten my name to Lupe because the people can't pronounce Guadalupe, I think it could be construed as a internal kind of personality crisis of sort. I think I've learned to kind of deal with it and accept it just because I feel like, I'm amongst people that maybe just don't speak Spanish, and so I can't expect them to say it right. But it's kind of interesting that I'm the one having a compromise on the end. My dad's case, he was expected to try to assimilate, and when he didn't, he was definitely bad-mouthed, and they always were kind of, in some instances, the butt of jokes, unfortunately. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons why he was so hung up on, or not hung up, but so focused on giving us education and making us, paving the opportunities for us to go to school and be educated and learn, so that I think we wouldn't ever be in his predicament. Yeah, I'm like, I just feel like, you hate it when you're that person that people don't understand. I hate it, and I think it's one of those where you look at them and you're like, they're not stupid, they're people too, but people oftentimes will dismiss them and kind of, almost sweep them under the carpet because they feel like, hey, you can't communicate with me, so I shouldn't even waste my time on you. And that's not right. So that's why I'm like, translating dude, hands down. All right, now my freaking makeup's messed up, so I don't know if I want to continue anymore.
See, it pays to watch these videos from beginning to end. Tomorrow, your third best of video will hit your inbox. So keep an eye out for the subject line, Enya's Count. See you soon.